what I actually want to see, and since, printing in resin, it's not really that expensive, right? It's only really time consuming. But I wish at least one person would do this, is to just get a 3D printer, maybe print out like a batch of 50 of them on a tray and see what happens to it. And then if any of them explodes, then at least there's like a sample size of like 30 to 50. If none of them explodes, then, whatever, right? But I think this will go a long way to really just explain, or at least like provide like proof on how the model actually is like after it's printed. Because I think the safety issue is probably the biggest issue. Okay, so we got a video here called Trench Crusade, an opinion on the recent discourse. So I'm not sure if this is definitely going to be on the opposing side of Janovich's video. I've only watched about like the first 30 seconds of it. It's a newer creator, so the audio is not the best or anything, so don't really judge them on that. I'm just really curious on the opposite position that Janovich takes. Because obviously no one has really come up and said anything about that. And it's kind of weird actually, like it took... The only opposing video, like opposing is so antagonistic, like the only video that presents and like the opposite, like the separate view, has to come from like a smaller channel, which is kind of weird. Let me look if there's anything posted this week actually. Yeah, let me see if there's anything. Well, there's another Duma video. All right. Makes no sense. I'm not sure if we should watch that. Maybe I just open the tab. Man, this is really fucked up. Like YouTube used to have like the newest. There's like a filter for the newest, and it's gone now for some reason. What the actual fuck? Recently uploaded. Yeah, let's see if there's anything. No, so it's been 3 weeks. It's been 3 weeks. And we have not really had a single video from especially larger creators that really addresses Janovich's issues. So no one's gone to try to debunk him or anything like that. All the shows are silent. All the people making money off it are silent. So it's all squarely down on the shoulders of the smaller channel. So we're going to watch this video, Trench Crusade, an opinion on recent discourse. Keep in mind, smaller channel, the audio might not be as good. Don't attack him or anything, even if you don't like Trench Crusade. We just really want to get like a fair review of everything, right? It's a longer video as well, so depending on how it goes, I might actually just jump ahead a little bit. So let's hear what he has to say.
So I want to make this video
let me know the volume is a bit
response and a bit of a different viewpoint to what I've seen on YouTube.
But let me pause the background music, right?
Trench Crusade.
So I'll start from the top again.
So I want to make this video to offer a response and a bit of a different viewpoint to what I've seen on YouTube surrounding Trench Crusade. Before anything else, I suppose I should start by saying that I've got no skin in the game. I'm not affiliated to Trench Crusade or anything like that. I'm just a guy who plays war games, and I've been playing war games now for about 30 years. Started with, like a lot of us, with 40k. Started right at the...
He started with 40k. 40k is like the Naruto of tabletop gaming, I swear.
Tail end of 2nd edition, which obviously I was a child and didn't really know how to play it, but I was completely absorbed by the lore, by the imagery, by the miniatures, and that's something that as time went by I continued to play wargaming, different games.
Yeah.
And
sorry, I'm just going to jump ahead a little bit.
Something else. I think a lot of us do that because especially as you get older, you just kind of want to get to the rules, learn the game, and then go and play the game.
Yeah.
Whereas with Trench Crusade, it was the first time in a long time that I really felt like I was getting absorbed in pretty much every facet, and it really gave me that sort of impetus and inspiration to want a hobby again. So I backed the...
Yeah, the thing with Trench Crusade, the time where it came out was when, like, I feel like GW has lost a bit of its soul. Like 10th edition and the lore around that has been a bit stale. So a lot of people have been looking for that empty void. That's been that soul that's just kind of missing. And so when people saw that artwork, it kind of just hit all the right spots. Like, even though there's no like actual real lore written down yet, there was no books written or anything like that. The artwork was actually really good. It's almost like 10 out of 10 artwork. You know, it's like 9.5 out of 10. It just passed the vibe check in a major way.
First Kickstarter, I backed.
And it wasn't like anything too foreign either. It's not like jumping from Warhammer into Gundam or Warhammer into BattleTech. It's still dudes in muddy armor with like World War I looking gear in a trench shooting at monsters. A lot like 40k.
For every faction. And I went about that, I think they were delivered last Christmas time, and I went about that sort of Christmas holiday, printing and painting every warband, so that I would be able to demo it when the gaming clubs got back together in the new year. I was really excited. So that inside, like I say, I'm just a random guy. I've seen a couple of videos, I've read a lot of comments, and I felt like there was a bit of a perspective missing from the conversation.
Right.
And that I suspect a lot of other people have similar opinions, even if they're not particularly motivated to speak up. So this video is just me simply putting my thoughts out there. That's all it is.
So, and that's perfectly fine. I mean, a lot of people enjoy painting the 3D models for that game. And some people still really enjoys that hobby, and you know, that's fine and all. I think the main issue really is the business aspect of it, the fact that some people have paid money. And by the way, there's like a newest development as well. I'm not sure if Janovich is going to make like an update video or anything like that. Like, apparently like a lot of books headed towards Australia and New Zealand. I live in New Zealand, by the way. A lot of these books going to these countries have been, for some reason, like diverted to Poland, of all places. So what I'm trying to get to here is like the main issue is the business side, where people are not getting the stuff that they're supposed to be getting, and the lack of care that is really just surrounding that. Sorry, I'm on a tangent. I'm just gonna let him.
From what I've seen, a lot of the discussion around Trench Crusade has become very one-sided on YouTube, and that, of course.
So, second tangent. I am so sorry, man. I am so sorry. Yeah, sorry about this. It really shouldn't come down to a channel, like a person having to basically just start their own channel. Like there were so many channels out there that were promoting Trench Crusade, hobby channels, lore channels, everything. That have a stake in this franchise, that were given early access models. They're obviously riding the gravy train when it was hot, but the moment now that something has happened, all of them have just basically turned, like, they just roached out completely. None of them have really tried to address the issues. And by the way, these are all creators that can in some way debunk, you know, or at least try to explain. The professional hobbyists or professional lore explainers. And these people are perfectly positioned to really comment about the direction that the franchise is taking with the lore, or just to really just give their perspective on what is happening with the 3D printing, like the issues with the resin traps. For example, like if this model has an issue with resin trap, I would listen to like a hobby channel who does 3D printing, you know, who was given like early access, right? That's like a perfectly relevant thing to do. But none of these channels have actually gone out and defended Trench Crusade, which is kind of weird if you think about it.
Of course, it could be my algorithm showing me a particular side. Maybe I've clicked on one too many negative videos, or I'm not sure. But I'm only being shown one type of response, and I haven't seen many people articulate the
Yeah.
position that I'm about to lay out on YouTube. I have seen these kind of discussions in, say, Discord or on Facebook. And it's not that I think my opinion is unique. I think it's fairly common, to be honest. I just don't think it's particularly loud. I think one of the biggest things that we can all overlook is sometimes the reality of what happened on Kickstarter in terms of the funding.
Hey, it's Dardy's Panda, what's up? How are you? Hail, battle brother. Hail, cousin.
Goal. So you've got a funding goal, and then you've got a project like this that vastly exceeds that funding goal. Obviously, an expectation was completely shattered. I mean, I don't believe for a second that the team launched this campaign thinking, oh yeah, we're making millions and millions of pounds out of this. It's not a game that has been made, or a world that has been made, from my opinion anyway, that seems as if it's been made to hit demographics in order to catch a wide range of people. I think it was just, from the sounds of it, a group of guys that looked at some art and thought, do you know what, this is really cool. What about this? What about that? And they let their imaginations run away with them. And before they knew it, they sort of started to develop this level of lore, and this sort of grimdark world. And I think, obviously, with the runaway success of the Kickstarter, it also creates runaway problems.
Right.
The fact that the 3D printing partner that they've picked has now got to fulfill so many people that they probably never were equipped to deal with, because they never expected that it...
The thing that really confuses me about Trench Crusade is I have no idea how their company is really structured. Like, I know that the Kickstarter is being run by a company called Factory Fortress in California. And then the actual IP or the creators are like, it sounds like a couple of Europeans or something. I could be wrong. Like, don't quote me on this. And then there's like a lead creative who's like the artist. So I don't know if it's been like, did the creators form like their own company and then they basically just offshore their like Kickstarter to, because Factory Fortress, from what I see, is like, they deal with a lot of Kickstarters. So did they just like basically gave Factory Fortress like permission to merchandise this Kickstarter for like a cut or something, to manage a few things, and then the Factory Fortress mishandle an entire case, and then it's not really to the wishes of the to the original creators. Like, maybe the original creators did not mean it. It's actually really confusing right now, because if it's like a company, like if it's under company names and all that, is actually a lot more simple. But it seems like right now you've got like a bunch of individuals who came up with something. We do not even know if like what company they are, if they're even in the company structure, because this is important for liability, by the way. And so now we have Factory Fortress there, who's probably liable for like the 3D printing stuff, but we do not know to what end. And then after that, it's been basically offshore to like a myriad of these other companies, like SB3. Apparently there was like another one that we read last week called like, shit, I forgot the name, like Only Guys or something like that, who was supposed to do the QA. It's on the Kickstarter anyways, anyone can look it up. So the entire, like, what I'm trying to say is that when the chain is this confusing, you do not really know where the liability lies. And once there's like plausible deniability up and down the chain, and no one is really liable for anything, it just becomes like, you start wondering if it's done like this way on purpose, or if someone just really taking advantage of that. Like, to what end is all this planned?
Or the funding goal of this size. They never would have probably imagined in their wildest dreams that they would receive over 3 million, especially for something they've created, which I again don't believe it was created for everyone. I think it was something that they made and created with a bit of love and excitement for themselves mostly, and it just so happens that it tickled a lot of us and we all wanted to jump on board too. So the reason for me, ultimately, as I sort of alluded to before for recording this video, is because I saw Janovich's video, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, so apologies there. Although I didn't share a lot of his opinions that he presented in that video, what I really appreciated about that video was that he didn't use, as so many have, a political viewpoint to then launch into why he didn't like.
Thank you. And this is why I really like Janovich's video. Is that it is so black and white that you cannot really slice into it with like a political take without being completely disingenuous. Like if you try to slice into that video with a political take, say that he's like, you know, such and such, it immediately disqualifies you for not actually having that video. And that's why it's, I think that's why there's not really anyone who came out in defense of Trench Crusade, because all the information has basically been laid bare. Oh yeah, Studies Panda, what's up? Yeah, no, this is a very rare video that is made just talking about Janovich's video, but from like a Trench Crusade enjoyer's point of view. And it's not a bad thing, by the way. I just want to hear out like both sides of the story, because obviously I don't play Trench Crusade. I know a little bit about business. I can give my takes on it, but ultimately I will not be as familiar with that hobby or that franchise as someone who's actually enjoying Trench Crusade right now. So I just really want to hear them out, because I'm not really biased in any way, by the way. Like I cover a lot of things. I'm not biased towards like a certain politics. I'm not really biased towards like a certain franchise or anything like that. I just generally like to hear them out and then I'll decide for myself. And so I've repeated this, like this is the third time of me repeating it already. Sorry if I'm yapping. But this is the only video out there that really addresses any of Janovich's issues. This is the only video out there. There's nothing from. I'm not going to repeat myself. I'm just going to go. But it's just bone dry. Like you look up Trench Crusade news, or just look up Trench Crusade on YouTube, sorted by recently uploaded. Yeah, it's like the dead space of the universe. It's suspicious. Yeah, and and the fucked up thing here is that Tabletop Meltdown is coming out here in defense of your hobby, and he's only got 4 subscribers, man. I'm just gonna subscribe to him. Yeah, it's really tough coming out there and basically doing the job of what like 100k sub channels should be doing. This is actually, by the way, this is actually stunning and brave. This is the actual stunning and brave, because he's coming out there with what's probably like a very with the community sentiment basically against you, and then just basically explaining your point of view. You're saying your word out there without any type of like weird politics injection or anything out there. I think so far it's like a very balanced take so far. So I'm just keep watching the video, guys. By the way, guys, I might skip ahead a little bit, but I might fast forward a little bit actually. Fast forward. Can I still do that? Oh, here we go. Yeah. Maybe we'll say 1.25.
Something, or there was a problem here, or there was a problem there. He was able to take politics and cut that straight out, which I think is a good thing. I don't think that politics needs to be injected into everything.
I'll put the volume up a little bit.
Really clear arguments as to why he was unhappy, and some evidence as to what he felt was wrong. And some of that I agree with. For example, the STLs and having voids in the STLs. I think it is a problem. Clearly, he's been able to demonstrate that there were voids. Now, me myself, I've printed every miniature that they released during the Kickstarter, and I got those files at launch, so they were excitedly downloaded by me the second they went up on my mini factory. I printed them.
Here's something.
Printed them in Sunlu ABS resin, so cheap resin. I again cured them, undercoated them, painted them. They sit on my shelf. They sit in my really useful boxes ready to go to club. They've been sat there and been done for a year, and I have not had any issues so far with models exploding or leaking or anything like this. Now, I have had that from other STL manufacturers, not for Trench Crusade specifically, but just other STL designers over the time I've been 3D printing, but it has not happened yet.
What I actually want to see, and since printing in resin, it's not really that expensive, right? It's only really time consuming. I think the experiment that Factory Fortress really should do, it should not be really down to any content creator. But I wish at least one person would do this, is to just get a 3D printer, maybe print out like a batch of 50 of them on a tray, and just leave them there for maybe 3 months. Not in a closet, because apparently like the UV light from the sun might do like some weird reaction with the resin as well, with some resin, so I just want to be like as close to real life as possible. Just put them out there, maybe like in the cabinet with some sunlight, and see what happens to it. And then if any of them explodes, then at least there's like a sample size of like 30 to 50. If none of them explodes, then whatever, right? But I think this will go a long way to really just explain, or at least like provide like proof on how the model actually is like after it's printed. Because I think the safety issue is probably the biggest issue. Like if you get scammed like $50, it's like, yeah, whatever, $50, what does it really get you nowadays? It's like, okay, so. But if it starts like leaking resin onto your battle mat, or like putting toxic materials on your skin, like everyone knows to wear gloves when they're 3D printing, right? Everyone, they glove up. It's like the first thing you learn about 3D printing. It's obviously toxic. And so I think proof on that would basically be the most crucial thing to actually get down to at this very moment. With
the miniatures from Trench Crusade. So when I heard about his concerns, when I watched the video, again, I agree with the fact that in a perfect world, they should be fixed. However, I was thinking maybe that it was a bit hyperbolic, because I don't know anyone who's had exploding miniatures. I've got a mental image of the scene in Scanners where the guy's head explodes, but in my head it's just exploding with resin. But I haven't heard of anything like that. It certainly hasn't happened to me. So
because right now it's just really anecdotal, right? And by the way, I'm not discounting his point of view at all. Like, I believe this guy completely. But I think just to put the matter to rest, just pick out a few models, just randomly, just do the Six Sigma thing, right? Just random spot testing, and just print out 50 of each model and see what happens, and just put this entire matter to rest.
I'm curious to see whether or not it will happen. Maybe I've just been lucky. Maybe other people really have experienced it. Maybe it's widespread, but I don't see it being widespread. The wargaming community I'm part of, a lot of people are in the same boat as me. They got excited, they printed their miniatures very early doors, and not one of us has had an issue out of maybe 8 or 9 of us with exploding or leaking miniatures. So I do think that it was a bit hyperbole there, and I think that's something to take into consideration. So.
And also, like, the one thing that another thing that I actually want to know as well, because I'm not like an expert in 3D printing. How hard would it to just fix the issues, the resin traps? Because if it's just like going into Blender and just filling up like the spaces and stuff like that, it only takes like half an hour per model, or maybe even 1 hour per model. Like, realistically, you can maybe fix 2 models a day, and in half a year it'll be 360 something models, right? So it's not really like a big task to undertake as well. Obviously you can do more than 2 a day, you can do less, but at least doing even one model a week is like 52 models in a year that you can fix. It's just really that lack of care, I think, that really just compounds into the rest of the other issues.
If obviously I do have some sort of catastrophe, maybe tomorrow.
Because one mistake is like, okay, it's an honest mistake, and then you've got 2 mistakes where someone's just getting sent right arms over and over again, and then you've got like the 3rd mistake where like books are being sent to, instead of going to Australia, it's going to Poland, and you got like the 4th mistake where the books are coming like all bent and weird, and you get like the 5th mistake where I don't know, some other weird shit happens. Then it stops being a mistake and it just becomes like a trend.
tomorrow my miniatures start to leak, then I will update this, because I think it is important to put that information out there as well. Just as I think it's...
And by the way, I'm not hating on Trench Crusade. I'm just being very clinical on this, because I am looking at this from I told my chat this, I do manufacturing. And so I'm just thinking about this kind of like in a semi work related type of way. I'm actually trying to troubleshoot this, by the way. I'm actually like trying to think about this in like a troubleshooting aspect. So repeating the same shit every 2 minutes. Like, shut up!
Important to actually put out there.
We're over it.
They are okay at the moment. So yeah, there's that side of it. And in terms of the physical delivery, now I wasn't a physical backer, as I've just said. I was an STL backer, but I have over the last couple of what's it been now, months, seen people's miniatures rolling in from the 3D printing partner that Trench Crusade use, and some of them look really, really shit. You know, like they look like they haven't been washed in alcohol. They look like they haven't been cured. You know, some of them look really goopy and slimy. Some people have had missing parts, which is not, I wouldn't say common within wargaming, but I've had missing parts from every company, from Games Workshop to Corvus Belli to...
No, but you see, some points need to be repeated, otherwise people don't get it.
Hawk War Games, or now TT Combat. You know, I've had a lot of missing parts over the years, so you come to expect that side of it. But what I was surprised about was the fact that the miniatures themselves, a lot of them, some people have got some really good ones, and some people have got some absolutely terrible, terrible ones. But that is that's the 3D printers or the third parties issue as an independent contractor, not Trench Crusade. And yes, Trench Crusade chose them, but I can't imagine for 1 second that, again, going back to the previous statement, that they knew that they were going to have to fulfill so many orders. Obviously, the 3D printing partners completely rushed off their feet, but also, I don't think they chose these people based on these are the guys that would get the job done the cheapest. I think they chose people who they probably thought would do the best job to try to launch their game, because no one wants to be the company that has delivered a really shoddy product. You know, there are so many different disaster stories coming from Kickstarter because of many different reasons in wargaming, due to quality of miniatures, quality of rules, quality of anything.
Yeah, I was trying to be nice to him. He's just coming out there. He's just coming out here doing someone else's job. You know, it's hard to make a video, guys. Like, you're talking to like... Yeah, don't be mean.
I do think that they would have tried to avoid that. I don't put this down.
By the way, the business aspect, did they find the best printer that they could? They probably did, but as a business, there's probably some kind of cost efficiency analysis there as well. Also, I tried looking for that company that they partnered up to do the printing. Do you guys remember that? I tried to look for that company, because if like half, or was it like 30% of their machines broke down, do you think there'll be like an announcement or something? Like, guys, we're out of business for a while. Orders will be like backlogged, they'll be delayed or something like that. I couldn't even find the company. It's kind of weird. And the companies that I did find that might be them, so far there was nothing. Like, I tried to do a little bit of investigation, right? It's hard to say.
Malice, or
like, I feel like there's some things that don't really add up. And do you guys remember when they like blamed FedEx?
See just how much was going to be required from them. I mean, to expect them to predict millions in revenue and enormous fulfillment volume would require clairvoyance of the highest degree. I just don't think that's the case. So, yeah, in terms of the miniatures, I think it's easy to see that the 3D printing partner has let them down, whether that's through lack of care or just sheer volume. However, there is another side to all this that was brought up again in the Janovich video, where the claims about supporting 3D printing going forwards from Trench Crusade was made. And yes, they did say that. And it was definitely part of the reason why I jumped on board, was the fact that I was going to be able to use my 3D printer to be able to print really, really nice miniatures at a fraction of the cost of what it would take to get miniatures from, say, Games Workshop or whatever else. So I was going to be able to afford to play this game. Cost as time has gone by, and for all of us, I suppose, has become an even bigger factor in wargaming. And I certainly can't afford to wargame the way I did 10 years ago, even 5 years ago. The landscape has changed, and I do rely on my 3D printer a lot more to be able to stay in wargaming. So that was definitely something that attracted me to the game. But plans change, and I don't think, looking at it, if it was me, if I was running this company, I would have made the switch from STLs to plastic too. Number one, to avoid this 3D.
Nah, man, come on, you don't get it. Come on, you don't get it. Being a small creator is fucking great. Because it's like, you're allowed to do crazy, like, online drama PvP shit and just talk like the most, like, heinous amount of shit to other people. And you won't end up on, like, a fucking Moist Critical video. Or, like, a fucking Dolan Darkest video. Like, being a small content creator is actually a good thing. You think, like, if I was any larger, like, let's say there's, like, 30 people in there. Like, even 30 people in there, not even 100. Boy, some of the shit you say will probably, like, land me in trouble on, like, fucking Twitter. I swear. Like, being a small content creator is a fucking blessing. As long as your livelihood is not really relied on, like, you know, this type of money on like, live streaming or anything like that, this shit is fucking great. Why are you so pussy about criticisms then? I don't even know what to criticize because I haven't finished the video yet.
Printing partner issue. They're teamed with Archon, so a company that now has got quite a lot of experience in plastic injection molding. They're good at what they do, and it's clear because the new Prussian kit is very nice from the look of it. I haven't got one, but I have seen pictures and they look fantastic. But the real reason for switching to plastic is something that is important. Really, is important to talk about, which is piracy. Now, I think whenever you release STLs to the internet for people to consume, you have to expect a level of piracy, for sure. But speaking to different gaming groups, and I've been to a couple of narrative days, and a lot of people were quite happy to admit and quite happy to say, yeah, I downloaded these from someone, or I was sent them from a friend, or I got them through different means, not from my mini factory, but I didn't pay for them. And I wonder how wide scale that is. I do genuinely believe if the majority of people were buying the miniatures, they'd probably be less averse to continuing down the STL route. But when there's no way to control who downloads it or who uploads it to a different place once it's been uploaded to my mini factory, without those kinds of security measures, there's not a lot you can do. And there is, you know, there is a lot of money on the table. I think whether or not you make something out of love, these people have dedicated a lot of time and a lot of effort into creating this miniatures line, this universe, this IP, and they're well within their right to protect it. So I totally understand why they have decided to go plastic. And again, you know, you listening, you probably sat there with your 3D printer too, I'm not sure. But there are a hell of a lot of people. For every one person that's got a 3D printer, there's probably 100.
One of the problems I'm hearing that just keeps being mentioned over and over again is just the bad STL. Like, the bad STL is basically causing a problem for everyone. Like, there's probably a reason, like, if those machines actually broke down, right? Like, assuming that's true. There's probably a reason for that. Like, if you're a 3D printing company, they probably have, like, protocols in place to keep these things running. So there must have been, like, a freak accident that brought down, like, 100 printers. And I wonder if the STLs have anything to do with that. And even besides that point, it seems like everything from, like, the resin pockets to people having issues with, like, the quality of the sculpts and all of that is just really just down to, like, basically bad STLs. So why the fuck have they not actually just gone over and just fixed a lot of it? Or is it maybe just too complicated? I don't know. I'm not an expert on this. Maybe it's something that Janovich might need to mention in this video, like how hard was it to just fix the STL? Because I think he's got some of the files right, and I think he might have actually gone through and done like the I forgot the word. He's gone over and done the job of like fixing a few models for them and just show them how it's done. So I wonder how labor intensive that actually all is.
People don't. Probably 200, 300, 1,000 people don't. People don't want them in the house.
Yeah, I'm really curious about that.
They're awkward to set up because you need space.
I feel that just fixing the STL probably would just fix 50% of the problem, so it won't like destroy the printers and all that shit.
So releasing plastics is, I think great, because it means that more people actually get to enjoy it. And not only that, but my local gaming shop actually gets a cut. They get to make money off of the game that we're all playing in the store, as opposed to us all playing with miniatures that we downloaded from the internet and printed, and people getting excited about the game and then also wanting in, and that store owner not being able to make any money off it. By rights, there's really no stores that should actually be letting us do that, because we are affecting their bottom line. We're taking table space with a product that they can't make money off. So I do welcome the plastics for that reason. I think it's important to talk about politics and community backlash in regards to this, because I think it gets a bit uncomfortable for some people.
All right, this is actually, I think this part coming up could be important, because half the discussion around this is pulling, like, they're just basically name calling Janovich, calling him like a friend of Arch, outright, without really addressing any of the issues. So this part, I'm not saying that he's going to be doing that, by the way, but this part could be quite wholesome. So I do want to finish the video.
And I do think that a significant amount of the backlash towards Factory Fortress and Trench Crusade is little to do, or less to do, with the quality of the product, and a lot to do with politics. And people have conflated views, or political views, or the creators' political views, with the quality of the thing they've made. We see this everywhere, whether it's people vandalising Teslas because you dislike Elon Musk, or abandoning hobbies because of statements made by corporate entities. I think, for me, I'm going to say this, and I think it's important. It's something I try to have as a mindset, is you can disagree with someone's politics and still fairly assess their work and be honest about what you actually have. Like I say, and that's, again, is why I want to give credit to Janovich, because his video wasn't politically driven. He was able to deliver a coherent argument based on what he believes are real deliverable issues. Like I say, I disagree with some of his conclusions, but I do respect the argument, and that's exactly how discourse should work. At the end of the day, guys, we vote with our wallets. But trying to galvanise the community against what started as a genuine passion project, I genuinely believe does not help anyone. Mistakes were made. Some responsibility lies with Trench Crusade. Some of it lies with their partners. Some of it with circumstance. I don't see malice. I don't see deception, and I don't...
Okay, he brought up a very important word, malice. But what do you think Trench Crusade had any malice doing all of this? Like, was there any malice in them with their Kickstarter, or, sending... The story about them sending the person, like, the right arm, like the wrong arm on the model over and over again. It's like not deliberate malice or something, right? But I feel like there is like a malice and carelessness.
See a justification for the level of hostility being thrown around, but again, you can't stop people from having an opinion, and I certainly wouldn't want to do that. They
were so incompetent to the point I would call it mad. I think I completely agree with that. Yeah.
And again, these are just my opinions, and I felt that they were worth putting out there.
Yeah, I completely agree with the completely incompetent part. I think the part that everyone would probably agree with, like if they take away all politics and all that shit aside, was Factory Fortress incompetent? Yeah, completely. You got strike 1, strike 2, strike 3. It's just a giant laundry list of them fucking up.
So, if you made it to the end of this, I really appreciate it. If you think I was wrong, feel free to tell me.
I'm gonna read the comment section.
I'm not looking to create an echo chamber or anything like that. I'm not sure I'll make another video. I do like talking about Trench Crusade. I'd like to not talk about this kind of stuff.
Yeah, just keep talking about it, man. Just
what I'm getting up to in the hobby, what excites me, what's coming out in terms of...
The thing is that, like, a lot of people are afraid of just making YouTube content nowadays. They think you have to be, like, super, like, well edited, super well produced or anything like that. Like, YouTube back in the day was just basically full of anime music videos and people treating it like a video blog, video diary. That was basically YouTube back in the day. And then some of the more interesting people you kind of vibe with, they like games, and it just things develop from there. I think people should always be like, it doesn't matter how many subscribers you have, a vote is a vote. It's basically the cornerstone of a Western democracy where everyone has the same voice. So, like, I don't care if they have like 4 subscribers. I don't care if they have like 1 million subscribers. I don't care if he's like PewDiePie or someone else. I think everyone should be able to just have that discourse. Obviously, I think the responsibility obviously lies with the people. Like the responsibility to defend this franchise lies with the people who fucking took money from Trench Crusade. Yeah? If you took money from Trench Crusade and you shilled the fucking product, then I think you bear some responsibility to really address the issue whenever there's something fucked up. Like you actually had money in your wallet from that company, and you told everyone out there, hey, this is a great franchise. You should all go join the Kickstarter. All the stuff is great. You know, wow, this is so good. The lore is so good. All of it like that. You're basically like a is saying antichrist like a bad word? Maybe it's too hyperbolic. Like you're basically leading like a bunch of sheep to the slaughter. And none of these people have really spoken up, explaining everything. I've talked about it too much. Let's finish the video and then read the comments.
Things.
I know some people are tired about this subject, but I think like when we do things, we try to be thorough.
Also, the new plastic releases, all of that kind of stuff. I'd love to talk about it. So, if you could tolerate my voice for this video,
No, it's fine.
you know, maybe give me a like. Let me know that you want a little bit more, and I can get something recorded. But thank you very much, guys. I really appreciate the time you've taken to give it a listen. Thank you.
No, it's fine. It's fine. He's very brave. Yeah, doing someone else's job. Sorry about that. Autoplay is playing some fucking BGM right now. Let me go back and read the comment section. Let me turn the autoplay off.
I want to make this video to offer a response.
Yeah. Sub. It's so shitty, right? Like he went out of his way to basically try and explain everything, and the fucking community didn't even give him a sub. What a fucking doing guys a favor. He won't even sub to him. So the comment section. Only gripe I have is they're behind the book, and Kickstarter miniatures I ordered had a lot of missing parts. That said, Factory Fortress did replace those parts after email within the way. Okay, at least they did that. Wasn't the fucked up parts all over and over again. The miniatures I do have not exploded or leaked. Full painted BG, it's probably a faction, Warbands and Heretic Legions, and painted right now. Your video is fully on the mark. FF and TC supporters are responding with quality, positive TC-related videos and other community content. End of the day, TC players have no need to give Factory Fortress any money at all to play and enjoy the game. So some people may have had a bad consumer experience, but they can move forward with buying proxy STLs or licensed physical prints from legit 3D merchants to play the game. Anyone with issues with the rules, they can house rule alternative. TC gaming community is great. I'm not sure what to think about this comment because first things first, with quality, positive TC related videos and comedy content. I think I went about this like 3 weeks, like for 3 weeks, basically disproving this. There has been no one really, by positive it probably means, you know, videos like these, right? Like talking about things in the opposite point of view. I hope there's like, whenever people like say that shit, I really hope they just put down like links somewhere, man. And you know what? Let's look at their Kickstarter right now. I'm just curious. Let's check out the Trench Crusade Kickstarter one more time. See if there's been development with the Australia shit. We need to refresh the page. Australia here had email 10 days ago saying my package is still being dispatched. I checked the status. This is 1 day though. 1 day ago. And still sitting on a label printed. Here in Canada, haven't received item from Baron yet. Check spam as well. Okay. Canada, change address. Change address. Can I cancel my book order? Have it donated to someone that didn't receive theirs. The absolute baby time Frolix, this whole process has been made me lose all interest. All right. Missed package replacements. Oh wow. 5 days ago, big long post. I hope this isn't anyone else that's being treated. I reached out to, I'm assuming that's Factory Fortress. Add-ons were not accurate. So let me try and abbreviate this. Basically a lack of response. Service. Paid $300 for this. Missing bits. Yeah, so no, I don't know. I don't know what he's talking about. Yeah, there's definitely a gap between like some of these comments and reality, I do feel. Again, being impartial. Thanks for putting this out there. I agree with all the points made. The game is good, the lore and community is good, mistakes were made, but not malicious or greed. But yeah. Anyways, only 5 subscribers, guys. Link the video in chat.